Good afternoon and welcome to today's Facebook Live. My name's Jenny McCormack. Excuse me. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley in the UK. Thank you for joining my live today. If you're joining me on Facebook, where I am currently live just after 5 o'clock on Wednesday, then do feel free to comment and let me know that you're there. I can't tell otherwise, so let me just pop this up on my phone so I can see what's going on. So if you are live, do let me know and comment so I can see who is here. If you're watching on catch up or on YouTube, then you're absolutely welcome to make a comment or ask any questions, and I will get back to you in due course. I do try and check certainly the YouTube comments every day or every other day, and the Facebook comments as they pop up, both obviously in person and in replay. So I did finally find my heat gun. I tidied it away and I just couldn't even see the cable, and that's why I couldn't find it when I was looking for it yesterday. However, I have found it now, so we're good to go. And I've been promising myself to use our new gilded leafing. This is gold colour. We just have the one colour at the moment. I don't know whether we'll bring any other ones in. Gold leaf is the most popular by far, and I've been determined to give this a go. So the best combination of using this with stamps, there's lots of other things you can do, is to use it in conjunction with heat and stick powder, and both of these are in our new January to June catalogue. Let me dig out the pages, you can find them, and then we know what we're talking about, and I can also give you the prices at the same time. So let me have a hunt through. So this week we've been focusing, well, I've been focusing on hidden gems. So things in our catalogues that you might have missed, either because they're tucked away or they're in some of our pages. Maybe it's products that you've bought in the past and maybe have used or haven't used, put away and forgotten about. And I just wanted to remind you of some of the uses of some of those items. So earlier on this week, this is what we did yesterday using one of the mini pizza boxes, and that's this one here. I decorated this to actually match a card that I'd made on Monday, and this was the card here, using some small cards and envelopes and these layers to turn it into a different card altogether, and that's what we've got here. So that is the card that we made, and then I decorated the envelope obviously to match. Okay, and so this is the box we made to match that, and then we also did some work with our blender pens and watercolour pencils, creating this little card, which actually is one of those little cards from the same set. Hi Linny, thanks for joining us. I just saw your message and then I began to think I was in the wrong place, so I trust I am in the right place. It keeps telling me I'm live all over the place, so let's hope I am. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I can see there's others as well. So that's some of the projects that we've made already this week. And so what we're going to do has a play with our heat and stick powder. So this is all on page 33 of our January to June catalogue. So this one runs out 30th of June. And on page 33 you'll see number 3 is the Gilded leafing embellishment. So this is this big pot here, and it's £8.25. And then the heat and stick powder is number 6, and that's £5.50. And it's like a glue, a dry powder glue, that when you heat it up it goes sticky, hence it's called heat and stick powder. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yes, it's weird why it's doing that, I'm not sure. So that there's the two products we're going to use. Now there's lots of different ways you can use this, but today I'm going to use it actually with the stamp set that they put it together with, Fine Art Floral. It will work with any stamp. It works particularly well with a two-step stamping stamp. So I thought I might use this Oh So Ombre paper, which has this lovely ombre effect, and this is Blackberry Bliss, and I thought I'd use Blackberry Bliss for the stamping of the flower and then add the gold leafing on top. I've got some little panels here as well, because I thought I might use those. Hello Jeanette, thanks for joining us. So let me find that set. Which I thought I had ready. I did have ready. I've obviously put it down somewhere just here. I'm losing the plot, everybody. I had it literally in my hand. I know why. Because the suite is called Fine Art Floral, but the stamp set is called Arts Gallery, and my stamps are in alphabetical order. Hey-ho. So there are dies that go with this, some really nice dies that cut out the flowers and this flower here. But I'm just going to use this flower and the stalk for our plans today. Now, hi Carol, this is the first time that I've used Gilding Flakes for a long time. So I've used Gilding Flakes in the past when we had them, and heat and stick powder, which you can use with glitter as well. And I'm also using a brand new stamp set. So we've got it all to go wrong really, haven't we? And I've literally had this delivery today, so I haven't tried it. So you'll have to be kind. You'll have to be kind. I hope everybody's having a good day. I can't believe it's Friday tomorrow. And I'm pleased to say that I had my delivery, so I finally have everything for my class in a box packs, which is all gone out, or local deliveries left this evening. And also everything for Let's Get Creative as well, which is on next weekend, but I'm packing the parcels, all being well, tonight and tomorrow. So my plan is to use these stamps. So you've got one which is the detail and one which is the sort of background of this flower. Before I stamp it onto here, I'm actually going to have a practice on one of these. I know it's a little bit large, but I might as well practice on there as anything else. And I have some Versamark ink, Now, because this is the first time I'm using this stamp, I'm just going to ink it with some Versamark just to get it releasing the stickiness on the stamp itself. And I find Versamark is a good way to do that because it really sticks well to the stamp, so you'll take the ink a little bit better. Let's pop the flower on as well. Flower, leaf even. So I hope everybody is having a good day or has had a good day. If you're in the UK, it's well 13 minutes past 5 on Thursday afternoon. Just ink this one up as well. And the nice thing about the Versamark inks is that you can buy a refill from us to refill your ink pad. So although, like mine, yours might look very dirty, you can at least refill it. Maybe I will treat myself to a new one in due course. So I'm just going to have a go with this. Hello Jill. Stamping onto here. And I'm just going to take a lighter pink and then use, no, I'm going to take just blackberry, sorry. I wanted to show you what the flower looks like without gilding, that was why. So I'm just going to do Rococo Rose and Blackberry Bliss. Just because I want to see what the stamp looks like, so I know what I'm doing. Famous last words. So this is Rococo Rose. So this is the lighter of the two colours. So for my first one, I'm just trialing the stamp, for want of a better description. Okay, so that's the all over background design, and it's got a sort of brush paint, acrylic paint, oil paint type look about it. This is Blackberry Bliss, and I'm just going to use this for the detail. Let's get the right one, which is this one here. Like so. And I'm thinking, just going to hover that over. I'm not sure of its exact position. Okay, so that's the effect you would get just with two tones of ink. Let's just put a stalk on there so it's not on its own. There we go. Just so that I can make more use of this when I've finished. There we go. Okay, so that's the effect of the flower. Very sweet. Okay, in fact that would be lovely just on that background, wouldn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is do the same actually with the gilded leafing on this one, and then I'm going to do a piece on here that I will actually, I will probably use, she says. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to use Blackberry Bliss for my background because I want it to really stand out against the gold. So this is that big sort of background colour stamp. Just going to put this at, well, I put it at an angle, but as it's circular it doesn't really matter because obviously you can just turn that round accordingly, like so. And this time I'm going to use the detailed one with Versamark and my heat and stick powder. So let me move these ink pads out of the way. So I don't know how many of you have used heat and stick powder in the past. I think I will just stamp my stalk. Hi Carol. Lovely to have you join us. Let's just pop that in there, like so. Now what I want to do is just grab a wet chamois, excuse me. Just so I can clean this one off. Now I don't know if you can see onto this one, I've got this little circular thing going on. If you can see that in the centre of the Blackberry Bliss. And that was a tiny little hair or something on the stamp itself. So I'm just going to make sure I give that a good wipe off. And I wondered for a minute if it was on the stamp, but when I look at the stamp here, obviously there isn't that little swirl. So obviously there was something amiss. Okay. Right, so I'm going to use Versamark, and then I'm going to use heat and stick powder, and then I'm going to add on my gilded leafing. Now I'm just going to open this carefully, and you don't want to have this open where there's a fan on. As you can see, it's full of very fine, and there's no weight to this at all, bits of gold leafing. And all we're going to do is just pick up a little bit. Now I know a lot of people put these in big tubs, okay, but I'm just going to take out a little bit for the purpose of our demonstration today. Look how bright gold that is. So just going to cover that up. And I've got some gold leafing there already. Okay, I'm going to bring in another piece of grid paper to work on. So what I'm going to do is ink up my detailed stamp in Versamark. Hope you can all see that okay. Like so. And then I'm going to put that over my stamp exactly as I did with this shading here. It's a really pretty stamp set. So it's called Art Gallery, and it has lots of really nice sentiments that go with it. Okay, so there is my Versamark. You might just be able to see that in the light shining on that. So then I'm going to use my heat and stick powder. I'm just going to clear the decks a little bit. And sprinkle this over my flower. Like so. And can you see that's gone effectively white because we've added white powder on, so it does look a bit like white heat embossing as it stands. Okay, I'm just going to pour this loose little bit of heat and stick powder back into there. You want to avoid too much contamination, and if you do move this into another pot, make sure you label it heat and stick powder, because it'd be quite easy to think that is either clear embossing or it's white embossing powder, and you'll get a bit of a shock when you heat it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is heat this up and have my flakes at the ready, and you'll find if you've got a good heat gun, it'll be fairly quick to change, and you'll notice it goes clear and sticky. Now obviously you won't be able to see the fact it's sticky, but you will be able to see the fact that it goes glossy and clear. So I'm just going to turn my heat gun on to give it a chance to warm up. And then bring that over. And it is very quick. It's much quicker than heat embossing. Now this is now sticky. Not sure how much of that you can see. And what I'm going to do is just literally grab a few flakes. I'm putting the lid on because I don't want it to go everywhere. Grabbing a few flakes and then pressing them onto the sticky ink, for want of a better description, our heat and emboss powder, like so. Now if you've got any little scrap bits, you can bring those in, and this will stay sticky for a little while, but not forever. Okay, now if you think you've got a bit here that's sticky, you haven't got enough flakes for, just grab some more, like so. And when they start, you do have a lot of large pieces, but they will all sort of work their way down to be small pieces eventually, but you can still just reapply those because it breaks down quite well. That's okay, Brenda. No need to apologise. Just glad that you're able to join us for part of the live. You haven't missed a great deal. Okay, so that is the gilded leafing applied, and what we want to do now is get rid of any of the excess, and there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can just literally use your finger and rub anything off. One of the preferred methods I use is a sponge. Now this is clean, well I hope it's clean. It is clean, it's just stained, and you can use this to rub off any excess. Basically, the harder the surface that you're rubbing across it, the more of the flakes you'll remove. Okay, so you've got that effect. The alternative, and something that worked really well, is to use a blending brush. Now I recommend, if you use a blending brush, you keep that one only for the purposes of the gold leafing, because obviously you'll get little bits of gold leaf in here in the brush, and you don't want to contaminate that onto an ink pad, because if you've got bits of gold leafing and then you go into your ink pad, pick it up, I can guarantee you, even now there's some in there, it will go in. Now when I used this previously, or blending brush type, if you don't keep one specially, then just make sure you're washing it out in between. But I think what I would do is keep one specifically just for the gold leafing. So you can just literally brush that off, and any of the loose excess will come off. So you can see all that's the excess here, and that is our gold leafing. So it's very different. Oh, hi Bridie, thanks for joining us. It's very different to just using gold embossing powder. Okay, it's a completely different effect. So now we've had a little play and it works. I'm going to do something with this layer. So let me keep that for my gold leafing, and it does, it's so light it will go almost anywhere. So what I'm going to do is stamp on here, and this is going to be the part that makes up my card. So let's grab the wide, the background stamp, the non-detailed one. So we're using gold leafing, this one here, rather than gold embossing, and this is heat and stick powder, which is in our new catalogue render. Okay, and I did get the page number out. It is on page 32 and 33. So let me find my ink pad. So this is Blackberry Bliss. Oh, thanks, Yuta. Oops. So going to ink up with this one. I might do a couple of colours actually. Because what I want to do is stamp on here, and then I'm going to cut it out and make it into a card. And I just thought on the ombre paper it would look really nice with the gold. We will see. So this is just inking up with the main stamp, and I'm going to put another one down here, I think. Like so. So I might need to do some masking in order to put my stalks on. I think I might actually put my stalks on in the same colour, because the green's not really going to show up under there. But then will you see it? That's the question. Maybe I'll do the stalk in Rococo Rose. Yuta's on it. She is. Thank you, Yuta. You can be my moderator anytime. Let people know what I'm using. That's really kind. Okay, so this is Rococo Rose. So I've just got a lighter pink, and I'm going to use that for my stems. And I am going to mask these off. So let me grab some, oh no, that's, oh it is just about a post-it note. What I want to know is how come you can never find one when you need one. Let's pop this on here, like so. So let's just stamp like that. I've got 2 layers, so I can cut 2 layers out. That should be enough to work that. Like so. Come out. Let me grab my scissors, which are in my little holder. Thank you, Lily. So just going to cut around this so that I can keep this together with the stamp set. Now there's lots of different things you can do with, oh, you're just doing a shopping list. Ah, that's why you had it to hand. Lots of things you can do with the gilded leafing. I'm not going to cover those at the moment because those of you that are at Let's Get Creative next week, you might find that they will be featured. So I'm not going to do all of that today. I just want to show you how you can use that leafing. So I don't know if I don't think I really need these bits cut out, but while I'm here, let's do that. Ping. So it's been so mild today. It's made a change not to have the heating on. That's for sure. Okay. Right. Sorry for that little digression. So what I want to do is cover this one up. And this one up. Just while I add the stalk going through there. And I actually did that in, I'm going to leave that in Blackberry Bliss. So I'm just going to pop that on there. That's it. Oops. And then I just want to add, I'm just going to add this on top, like so. Hopefully it's not going to look too messy. We'll soon see. Okay, no, that's all right. I'm happy with that. Okay, so those are my 3 flowers, and I'm going to use the Versamark with my fine detail, stamp on the 3 flowers, and then apply my heat and stick powder, heat it up, and then add my Gilding Flakes. So Versamark, detailed stamp. So another set that this would work well for is this one, All Things Fabulous. I was thinking it was amazing something, but All Things Fabulous, because you've got this level of stamping, so you could stamp these 2 and then just do the fine little bit with the gilding. And I'm trying to wipe this off because I've got some gilding on the stamp, so that would be a nice one too. Okay, so let's give this a go, see what it looks like. So Versamark, and I'm thinking you could use an embossing buddy on here. I don't think the heat and stick powder would really stick to anything else, but I'm just going to put this over first. So let's have a look. I have no idea how this is going to work with the ombre look, but let's give it a go. So I'm going to work from the top down so that I'm not putting my hand on anything else. So this is my first layer. There's one. There we go. And two. I'm looking at it and not really seeing where it's going now. There we go. And three. Now you could actually just do one in gold leafing, you don't have to do all of them. But I just want to see how it's all going to look together. Like so. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3 coated in Versamark, so you can just see it's slightly tacky on there. Then I'm going to use my heat and stick powder. Onto here. So this won't work with clear embossing powder, it's completely different. Now you can see quite clearly where that is sticking. Okay, let me tuck this away onto here before I do anything else. And so you're only using a little bit, so this will last a long time. I do recommend, even if you put it into a big tub, when you've finished using it for a little while, pop it back into a smaller container, just to keep the air out, because these can go off after a while. Okay, so let's give this a go. I'm just going to wipe this off because I can see I've got a little bit of heat and stick powder here. Also, if you want it on there, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I have my Gilding Flakes. Let's bring back my little piece here. Okay, because obviously what you can do when it's wet is tip it into that. Grab my heat gun. Let me put my lid on my Versamark. And it's not even, I suspect, not even 10 seconds that you need to heat this up. Okay. I'm just making sure it's heated first. See what I mean? So 1001, 1002, 3, 4, 5, Yeah, not even 6 seconds to do all of that. It is very, very quick. Whoops. So let's sprinkle that back on first, might as well. And then put this layer on. So I would recommend that you put this into a tub, because you'll find it a lot easier to manipulate. As I say, there's absolutely no weight to this at all. You know, you can't even feel it. I'm trying not to breathe, and you certainly don't want to cough or sneeze. As you can see. Okay, I'm going to put this lid on and just work with what I've got here, and then just brush it off onto this piece of paper, and then I'll decant this back in later. There we go. So just using my finger to press it down to get that contact with the stickiness. There we go. It does, doesn't it, with Blackberry Bliss? It does indeed. Okay, so I'm just going to brush this off. So you can see all this bit can be decanted back in. And then I'm just going to use my sponge to brush this off. Now what you can do is use this to add gold detail to designer paper. And if you have a Versamark pen, so we used to sell a Versamark pen, but you can use a paintbrush or something with Versamark refill. Then you can paint in particular areas and then add the heat and stick powder. There's a little bit there that I brushed off too much. There we go. Yes, I think Blackberry Bliss is very understated, for sure. Right, let me clear this. This is where having a bigger tray would be much more useful, that is for sure. Because now I'm going to go around everywhere with gold leafing on me. So I'm going to see if I can decant this back in. Could be asking a bit too much. Because the problem is now I've got a bit static. Okay, got there. I did say it could be messy, didn't I? I wasn't wrong. I've got gold trousers now, ladies. Okay, so here is my piece of Ombre Blackberry Bliss paper with the gold leafing on it. So I'm going to cut this up and make that into a card. me grab a trimmer. So I think what I will do is cut this, put it on a gold layer, and then onto Blackberry Bliss, I'm thinking. So this could go up to 9.5 centimetres that way. Seems a shame to cut that off, doesn't it? But then it's a shame to cut this as well. Hey ho. There we go. And it's going to cut some of the top off, I think. So this is going to be, so what did I make that? 9.5. Then I'm going to do a gold layer. So this will be 13.85. And then a gold layer, and then a Blackberry Bliss layer. There we go. Let me grab, I'm hoping I've got some gold after all that. Should have. So I did stock up with some colours. This is the brushed gold. But that works really nicely, doesn't it? So let's do that. Let's cover up this ink pack. There we are. So yes, I quite fancy trying it with that other stamp, where you've got only you can do the third layer of stamping as the gold leafing. So I want this to be 10. By 14.35. And obviously I could cut a panel in that if I wished. I could die cut it, because obviously this is going to go on the top, and that makes quite wasteful of the gold card. So what I can do is position this half an inch in and just cut a section out. I'm not really measuring this. But I'm just cutting out a rectangle so that this gold doesn't get wasted. Just making sure that I'm obviously creating a cut that is leaves the edge smaller, obviously, than this. You don't want to get it too close. Okay, but I've got that piece there left over. And then I think that needs to go on a Blackberry Bliss card. I'm hoping I have one. I think I do. Oh no, that wasn't Blackberry Bliss at all. I have to take a sheet out. Oh, and let me, it's because I put some aside for something else. Let me go and grab the card. Do excuse me a minute. So sorry about that. There we go. That's the colour. Yeah, it's going to look lovely. Quite happy about that. So just going to chop this in half, like so. Score it at 10.5 centimetres, like so. And I will obviously put a layer on the inside, because this will be a bit dark on its own. So how are we doing for time? Oh gosh, didn't realise it was quite so late. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is put this layer down first, and I can use either my seal or wet glue. And one thing I do recommend if you're using the seal is to always draw it down towards you. Don't do it crossways, because you put a little bit more uneven pressure on it when you do that. If you drag it towards you, then you're keeping the pressure a little bit more accurately. So this layer, which has now become a frame, actually that would, I know I haven't cut it, but wouldn't that look nice? Oh, good luck, Jill. So yeah, that would be a nice frame. Obviously I haven't cut it as a frame, I've just cut the middle out. Good luck to the foxes. There we go. And then this is going to go onto there. Now you can add a gilded edge to this as well, which I could have done instead of doing a layer, just by using the Versamark right on the edge all the way around, or putting this in on the edge and then adding the heat and stick powder, and then the Gilding Flakes. Thank you, Lynn. There we are. So just centralising that before I let it drop down. There we go. There. It's a completely different texture to gold embossing, because it's sort of got this stippled effect. And then I think I need a sentiment on there, so what I might do is do that with some gold embossing. I might do this. Oh, happy birthday. Let's have a look and see. Happy birthday. See if that will fit on there nicely. Across the bottom. Which it will. So I'm just going to use some Versamark and then some gold embossing powder, because you could use gilded leafing, but it doesn't always like the fine detail, because it's a coarse I don't really know what it is. You know, if you wipe it off, you can lose some of the definition. Okay, thank you, Bridie. I can smell my dinner cooking. That's always nice, isn't it? Thanks for joining me though, Bridie. I really appreciate it. Just going to stamp this off on here. Okay, so So let me grab, oh yes, grab my gold powder. Here it is, gold. So just inking this one up because it's the first time I've used it. Pop this on the bottom. There we go. Thank you, Bridie. Just covering that up. Just flipping this over. I should have used my embossing body on there a little bit, but I think I'll get away with it. And if there's any little specks of gold, it won't matter. I'll pretend it was designed to look like that. There we go. So I just grab my heat gun and heat that up. There we go. Thank you, Jeanette. Nice to see you. Have a nice evening, won't you? So there we've got happy birthday here at the bottom. Yes, I used it earlier on, but I forgot to use it really at the bottom here because obviously I've been handling this quite a little bit. But anyway, it still gives the effect you want. You can see how bright this is compared to the gold here. And in fact, what I might do is just put some gold embossing on here so you can see the difference between embossing and leafing. So let me just do that. But the main card is done. So I've used Versamark, heat and stick powder, and gilded leafing. You'll say there's lots of things you can do with the gilded leafing, but I don't want to spoil the effect for anybody that's joining our LGC next week. But let me just show you this with the gold embossing powder, and you can choose which you prefer. So I'm just going to do it over this one, then it'll be more of a direct comparison for you. Let's not cover that. I obviously haven't put any embossing body on this. That didn't really work, did it? Never mind. Okay. Definitely need to clear my desk after all of this. Okay, so this is gold embossing powder, so I'm just going to heat that up, and you can see, you'll be able to see the difference between the two. we go. Okay, so I know the colour underneath is different, but can you see the difference? So it's a different gold to start with, and then this obviously has gone very smooth, and this has that texture to it. So it may be that you prefer the gold embossing powder. Okay, but the gilded leafing does give it much more dimension. But it's entirely up to you. Let me know which one you prefer. Do you like the gilded leafing or the gold embossing powder? Okay, well that's all I wanted to cover for today. So thank you for joining me. The stamp set I used is called Art Gallery, this one here. It has a host of really good sentiments. I miss you, congratulations, birthday, good luck, sorry, thank you, best wishes, you're lovely, I'm thinking of you. And then we have these two that go together, and then these two that go together, and then this one here. So a nice combination, obviously a really nice stalk as well with the leaves. So yes, do let me know which you prefer. As I say, they're just very different really. So there we go. Thank you so much. I've got gilded leafing all over my phone. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I will be back tomorrow. I've got to do an insert for this, which I'll do straight away, otherwise I shall forget. And I'm thinking next week that my Tuesday and Thursday lives, I'm going to try going live on Facebook. I beg your pardon, on YouTube. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be Facebook, and Tuesday and Thursday will be YouTube. So there will be a link in my Facebook page as to where to find my live, and I will try and share it on Facebook. But I'm just going to try something different for next week to see if it brings me a different audience. So just a pre-warning for that. Thank you so much for joining me. Please take care, and I hope you have a nice evening. Let's move myself over to the computer. Thank you for watching me today. I hope you're able to join me tomorrow, Friday, live at 5. And if not, you're welcome to watch on catch up, both on Facebook obviously and on YouTube. Thank you so much everybody. Take care, look after yourselves, look after your loved ones, and keep crafting. Thank you. Bye bye.